Welcome back to Marks and Parks with Brennan. Today we're going to be exploring Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Parks. Today we left Yosemite Lakes and traveled to Sequoia, California. This was another trip along winding mountain roads, which means it was stressful for Dad to drive, and it made Mom nervous. After hours of up and down and round, we finally arrived at our campground. We'd be spending a week at Visalia Sequoia KOA. We'd been spoiled with very mild temperatures during our adventure until this point. When we stepped out of the truck, we were shocked by the wave of heat. We got settled in and finished my school lessons. Then, Mom and Dad began planning our adventure. As we drove to Sequoia National Park, you're surrounded by more of the golden mountainous landscape of the southern Sierra Nevada mountains in California. It is so different from what we are accustomed to seeing when we visit the Smoky Mountains. It's beautiful, but in a different way. Sequoia National Park was established as America's second national park on September 25, 1890, by President Benjamin Harrison. It was created to protect the giant sequoia trees from logging. Another national park, Kings Canyon, borders Sequoia National Park. It was formerly known as General Grant National Park and established in 1890 to protect a grove of sequoia trees. But in March of 1940, the area was expanded and renamed Kings Canyon. We stopped at the Visitor Center for my Junior Ranger packet and participated in a ranger program while we were there. It was a geology talk, so we learned how the Sierra Nevada mountains formed. One tectonic plate slid over the top of the other, just like the Rocky Mountains. I learned about the many types of rocks in Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Parks, too. I also learned that these parks have much more to offer than the giant sequoia trees. Many things make the national parks unique. The tallest mountain in the lower 48 states can be found here. Mount Whitney has an elevation of over 14,494 feet. There are grand peaks and glacial canyons to explore here. Sequoia is home to over 1,200 different types of plants and over 315 different types of animals. There are over 800 miles of trails to explore. There is a marble cavern and granite domes that visitors can explore, as well as many different types of rocks to discover. Sequoia is a great place for mountain climbers to visit, and Kings Canyon has the deepest canyon in the United States at over 1.5 miles deep. That's right, it's deeper than the Grand Canyon. Who knew Sequoia and Kings Canyon offered so much to explore? The ranger had explained that sequoia trees grow at an elevation of 5,000 and 7,000 feet. The visitor center was at 1,400 feet, so we had to drive up and around more curving mountain roads. It isn't so bad when you don't have the RV attached, though. We made it to the grove and hiked the Big Trees Trail. It was a beautiful hike around a meadow. The size of the sequoia trees was unreal. We were so amazed that something could grow that size and come from such a tiny seed. The pine cones are only about 1.5 to 2.5 inches big, and the seeds are about the size of a pinhead. The trail was an easy one with lots of shade from the giant trees. At the end of the trail, a mama bear and 2 cubs were eating in the meadow. drove a little farther up to hike to the tallest sequoia in the world, General Sherman. We spotted a 6-point buck just before the parking lot. He was really pretty. The hike to General Sherman was a little more difficult because it was steep going back up. Phew! Collected trash and worked on my ranger booklet while we were driving through the park, so we decided to stop at the next visitor center to get my badge. We also wanted to find out how far the drive would be to Kings Canyon to see if we might have the time to explore it the same day. I took the oath and got another badge for my collection. Kings Canyon was only about an hour drive, so we headed that way. At Kings Canyon, we hiked Grant Grove, which is another grove of giant sequoias. This grove was home to the world's second largest sequoia tree, General Grant. President Calvin Coolidge designated General Grant as the nation's Christmas tree on April 28, 1926. We were once again amazed at the size of these trees. An added bonus on this hike was that we saw several deer. It had been a long day of exploring the different groves, so we decided to head back to the campground. Although we knew there was so much more to see and do in these two national parks, we only visited the areas of the sequoia groves. Maybe we can return one day when the weather is cooler to explore more. Our next destination was supposed to be Joshua Tree National Park. However, due to the extreme heat, we decided to save that for another trip. We'll be making a stop in Nevada to see Hoover Dam next. I hope you'll tune in to our next video as we explore what was at one time the world's largest dam. See you there!